we kind of didn't take everything out of the box, and now that I'm kind of looking at it, I was like, it wasn't so good.
Oh, do you have the hoodies?
I know we have some. I don't know. I can go look for you.
If it's possible.
Yeah. What size?
Well, I'm looking like a double X.
I'll see if I have it, because most of them, because normally all of our stuff gets fulfilled from the companies.
Yeah.
But for the show we put on in November, Retro Toy Con, we had some made for the show, but it was very cold. And everybody bought them, but I'll check for you.
Oh, if it's possible.
Yep.
My name is Andre. I'm from the Netherlands. Huge fan of the show. So it was possible for me to go here. So I went to. So that's it. Of course, Transformers. I would like to buy a Generation 1 Jetfire because it's difficult to find. And it's for me the holy grail. But unfortunately, it isn't possible. So, well, my luck.
Past couple of days, we've been getting hit pretty hard. I don't know what's going on, but I mean everything comes and goes and sells in waves here. But past 3 days, it's been getting hit pretty good. Might be due to the fact that we went from one shelf of turtles to 2 full shelves, so maybe there's obviously there's more of a selection. But turtles is ramping up.
Never been this far into the US
Okay,
than as of now. So.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you checking us out.
Oh yeah.
I wish I had the Jetfire for you.
Well, I hope. I was hoping, but it not always works. I saw it on eBay, but those prices are ridiculous.
I mean, a good fair price for a box one, if you wanted a box, is like $300.
Yeah, I saw.
They're asking more.
Yeah,
but yeah, a good fair price in the box is $300.
Oh,
So just so you have an idea when you're looking.
Okay.
But I mean, you could find one never opened or really immaculate. Could be set. All right, so by the time this airs, our grand opening will have happened. But just to kind of give you a sneak peek of what we're doing, and it's still not 100% finalized because we're about a month away. But yeah, let me turn this down. I got Yacht Rock playing. So this is going to be all modern Power Rangers, or no, vintage. Power Rangers case out front's becoming DC. So Megazords, top, bottom. These are the 8-inch guys, and then, I don't know. I think we're going to do a shelf dedicated to
Lightning Collection and maybe Vintage.
Yeah, one vintage, smaller guys, and then one Lightning Collection / Bandai maybe. So these are all complete Lightning. So obviously a lot more than that shelf accommodates, but then we'll be able to restock. These are little micro play sets. Like they completed this one. You said this is a good one. Look how many pieces. That one's complete. And then you say this one was complete?
Yep.
And then, yeah, some little... Anything micro is awesome. They need to do more micro stuff these days. So this is what? Kenner DC, Toy Biz DC, Toy Biz Marvel.
It's like a half Marvel, half DC case. We couldn't quite dedicate that much space.
Well, we added all this new space and it's still not enough. Then this is all modern 3 3/4 Star Wars. Because see, the problem with the wall that we had, we're taking a wall down that showcased all of our loose stuff. So now that we don't have a wall to put these figures on the little clamshells like we do, they're all going to be on display. There's a lot of expanded universe stuff in here, especially this shelf. Like I think this shelf's going to get gutted. And there is some theme to it, like the creatures and the aliens, invaders and Jedis. And so then this is modern Joe. And it could get more full. Like my buddy Jason customized this for me. This is some Big Lots goofy thing. And I was like, could you dirty it up and make it look like a transport? So, it's like something, hey, the Mobac got hurt in the battlefield and the big vehicle comes in. But this was like a goofy Big Lots toy that he did for me. Modern wrestling. So I guess we're just doing, you've seen this wall before. And then we totally changed the formula for how we were doing this back room. So I don't know if we talked about it, but when that wall comes down, the glass cases or the counter height cases were going to continue to wrap around this wall. And then we decided not to do that last minute and decided to create an L-shaped island here, which would allow us to do more cases and free that wall space up. Travis did all this, Travis and Andy. So 60s, right? You
Yeah, 60s Joe and 60s Marks figures. They're both these lines are tough for a lot of different reasons, and this is probably the most we've been able to do.
Well, we've never had an adequate space to display it, and then we go here. So when you come through this wall, then you're going to see these cases, and then the back and the TV so we wanted to do some of the higher end stuff, some of the graded stuff, some of the carded stuff. By taking it out of the cases up front, it would give us more room to display more loose stuff up front in the vintage section. So this is all carded stuff. These are some cool pieces up top that are going to go on the MOTU. Bionatops and what is it?
Tyrannosaurus.
Turbodactyl.
Turbodactyl.
Right.
Yep.
So he's tough. They're all tough. We don't do a lot with sports, but this particular collection came in, so we're like, great. Then you got a Battle Beasts, Gargoyles down below. And what's in the bottom one?
Conan.
Oh, Conan. So there's a lot of these bins that are ready. There's some Kenner Terminator, which it's hard to... And a lot of this stuff isn't a lot of money, but it's all complete, and it's stuff that's going to go out in one of the front cases because it's kind of transitioning. So it'll have a lot of miscellaneous lines like Dick Tracy. Obviously, everybody but Blank.
It's probably been a very long time since we put any of these out.
So he's got some Black Star.
Yeah, these are, and this is probably the most we've ever had. All these are complete.
Yeah, so it's hard to really see. So I don't like bags, but hard to see. But we'll have a nice Black Star representation. We're gonna have some Mattel Galactica. We're gonna have some Black Hole. We're gonna have Buck Rogers. All will be out on the main floor, but they're just prepped for the grand opening. This case is Bionic 6 Silverhawks and I think some graded mask.
Mm-hmm.
These Bionic 6 and Silverhawks you will have probably seen when we bought those because we actually filmed that purchase. Monster High?
Well, yeah, it's Monster High and Gem.
Monster High and Gem.
Some of the Gem we had at Retro this past year, and we had duplicates, so we're putting out more of them. Monster High, it's one of those things that we get every once in a while, and it's gone as quick as we get it.
And then this is all either graded Joe or carded Joe. Might be hard to see it all, but this is a cool collection, which I think we filmed. The Sears Cantina, the Sears Cloud City. We're going to have a Sandcrawler. We're going to have all the grails. This one's cool.
Oh, yeah. Probably the most ponies. This was more than we thought we had.
We got a lot of ponies.
Andy set up all the My Little Pony, and I mean, I would probably say we've put them out maybe once or twice before, but this is really like 7
That's the
years.
most we've had. And then this is that Filmation. This is what the Ghost Command, and so this was something we got at Retro, and now we're
Filmation Ghostbusters.
We're still working on this. Just to give you an idea, the show was hectic. Everything's crazy. We kind of didn't take everything out of the box, and now that I'm kind of looking at it, I was like, it wasn't so good. But
It's
anyway,
a lot of work.
almost everything was broke. Literally everything was broke. This whole house is one we had in the back because it's in better shape. But all the tabs are broke. Everything's broke. But like, on any piece that you happen to have, it's broke. Broke. On all the windows, they won't hold because the tabs are gone. But still.
Well, it's the problems of doing lines like this.
Well, this line is just so extremely, like this is not complete.
Yeah, no wheels.
And then the things that hold the wheels are all broke. And you're never going to find the wheels because the problem with this thing is the wheels were made out of, it's almost like a glass.
Yeah, it's
like
a
a see-through
acrylic plastic material that just yellows and crumbles. I mean, I think we were going through listings and ones that had wheels, most of them, the wheels had just disintegrated and popped right out.
It's literally one of the toughest lines to ever build. And, not everybody's even aware that there's another Ghostbusters line.
Yeah.
So
And it was first.
right. And humanoids,
And humanoids,
or no,
visionaries.
Visionaries,
Right. And centurions.
and Centurions. Yep.
And this is, I think all three lines, this is almost everything. It's not everything, but it's almost
I think for
everything.
Visionaries, we're missing a guy or two.
I think we have every guy. We don't have the vehicles. This is all Spider-Man from the very first movie. It's not every single figure, but it's the bulk of the line. A lot of times we would put this with Toy Biz, but it kind of is on its own anyway, because it's not Toy Biz, it's not Marvel Legends.
Man,
it's
I can
not
realize how
Hasbro,
dirty this
even
case
though
is.
Hasbro got some of these figures and redid them, straight redid them in some cases, like the Spider-Man 3 figures. A lot of those were just redo figures, and then Spider-Man Trilogy were re-releases, and in some cases re-releases of re-releases. So you have I forget all the names, the pumpkin bombing Green Goblin there, he was never re-released, so he was only in this line. This Green Goblin was re-released in a couple of different ways, with removable helmet, without removable helmet. But this is all these are the very first ones. And this wrestling, Peter Parker here, they never redid it. So it's one of the toughest ones to do from the first movie.
Yeah, that one's high money, you were saying, because his outfit is all rubbery material and it just disintegrates.
Right. The pants and the shirt and the mask are all this rubber material that you can take off and change him into Spider-Man. And he also has a Spider-Man mask that's rubber. But it dry rots and falls apart. And it's just a problem. But yeah, this was something we've never really been able to put out in such a complete way. Then there's a Street Fighter line below that. And this is G.I. Joe, right?
Yeah. The problem with this is once this is gone, it's one and done. We've never really had a Godzilla case. And a lot of this is Ultraman monsters, but I just call it the Godzilla case. So this is cool, and we do have more to restock. It's micro stuff. So there's Mighty Max. There's a lot of micro machines in here. It's just cool. I think some of the Toy Biz X-Men little micro sets are in here. This is going to be Lego and board games and stuff. So the shelving's right. What's up here now is just stuff that we have to get out. And then these last two cases over here, this one's going to kind of be more of a modern MOTU case, whether it's Mondo, Origins, Masterverse, and then the top was going to be Mythic Legions. We had a big loose collection come in, or a decent size, enough to we're like, well, let's display them, and then we're going to try to open the package stuff and represent it in here, and then when you sell one, you just give them the sealed one. And then this is going to be classified in Black Series. So this all fell down earlier, but it's back up. And then, I don't have room anywhere else to put these giant Lego displays. So that Monster Force one just came in, or Monster Fighters.
Yeah.
And then that's that Halo one that we picked up at Retro.
I honestly never heard of this before until it came in, Monster Fighters.
Dragonfly HasLab came in, the His Tank came in. And then I just decoupaged this wall, so this is cool. It was just a door to the AC room, but now it's a lot more exciting. And then now we have a better book section. So for all your little retro toy books, whether it's the Wuzzles or Jungle Book or, who knows, Masters of the Universe, another Masters of the Universe, Snow White. So it's all here. So it's, we used to have them on the ground. And then this will be kind of retro VHS. So we're not done populating this. And then we still have to figure out the tops of these cases. Like, those tops are just storing vintage box stuff, so that's not going to stay. Some of this is correct on top of the Star Wars case. That's a Lego store display, Star Destroyer. The Slave one's in the case, so the box is just up there. But then we just got to finish the top out.
Did you tell them that section, or?
Yeah, so this is Lego / board game / not sure. But yeah. I think it'll work good for Lego.
Yeah.
It'll work good for old puzzles and board games. And it's adjustable, so we can make it any height or whatever we want to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
But right now it's just storing stuff while we work to finalize.
Yep.
And then this came in Saturday, right? We
Yes.
actually didn't have this one. Rambo, Force Freedom. And the funny thing is it says M60, but that's not an M60, so go figure. This is what happens when these figures don't work on stands very well. And then when one goes, they all go.